Vijay Paulji, Mukesh Thaldi,
Good morning.
Saraswati and Pinky.
Good morning,
So,
sir.
good morning. So actually, I think you all must be having a WhatsApp group in which the message is clearly communicated that you are having class of marketing management at 8:30 today. So, shall we wait for some more time for others to join? Because as learners, I can see only four learners so far. Or shall we start? Anyone can unmute and respond to me.
Sir, we can wait for 2 3 minutes.
Okay, okay, Mukesh, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Yes, very much audible, sir.
Okay.
I'll just pass.
So,
Yes, sir. I'll just pass.
so in between, I can interact to some of you with some of you personally. So, Mukesh, actually, apart from doing income in IGNO, what else you are doing?
Sir, I am working with Ministry of Mines, sir, Geological Survey of India.
Okay.
Yeah, as an assistant cost account officer, sir.
So you are posted at?
Sir, Kolkata right now, sir. Recently got
Okay.
shifted here, sir.
Okay. So you are attending the session from Kolkata.
Yes, sir. Right now, sir.
Okay. Very much welcome to the session.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Then, welcome. Vijay Palji, tell us something about you.
हाँ सर गुड मॉर्निंग
Good morning.
आई एम
So,
प्रेजेंटली वेस्ट बंगाल इन बीएसएफ
okay. Your profile picture shows that. So that's why I asked you.
ओके सर थैंक यू
Yeah. Then Saraswati,
Yes, sir.
so what are you doing apart from pursuing your income with IGNO? What else you are doing as your engagement?
No, sir. I will no engagement. I are study.
Okay. See, you are currently attending the session from Bhubaneswar.
Yes, sir. I will study Puri. Yes, yes.
Okay, you are from Puri. Very good. Uh, Pinky madam, hello. Pinky, am I audible to you? You are not audible. Hello. Okay, then I request any one of you to drop a message in your WhatsApp group to attend the session because the time is already over and they can attend during the session anytime within 5 minutes. Just drop a message. So right now we'll be starting with our marketing management paper. As you know, marketing management, this is the most significant and important management which actually contributes a lot in the successful survival of an organization. Let us start with management, then we will go to marketing management. Management means, in simple words, let us not go by very complicated definitions. Management means to do the right thing at the right time in the right way with the available resources. Management means is to do the right thing at the right time. It should be time bound in the right way, in the right process with whatever resources you have with you. When it turns to marketing management, the same thing holds good, but now it concentrates only on marketing. Now we will understand what is marketing. Then we can join both the words marketing management. So marketing, let us start with some very easy examples. In that way you will get some more clarity in marketing. Most of us think that marketing is almost equal to selling. When the persons who are pursuing their career in marketing, before joining, they have a wrong notion that marketing means only to sell. But let us take an example. Suppose you are going out of your house for marketing purpose. Suppose it is for vegetable. So what you do, you go to the marketplace. There you look for your desired vegetable, not from only one vendor, but you go on inquiring about the price from vendor to vendor. You first get a glimpse of those vegetables which you would like to take for your home. So that means you search for quality. When you are satisfied with the quality, with the greenery or with the softness of the vegetable, then you go for price. If that price suits your pocket, then very much eagerly you purchase that vegetable from that particular vendor. It is not a compulsion on you to buy all the vegetables from one vendor. You have the option to explore the market to get the desired vegetables for you at an affordable price with a satisfying quality. So that means marketing involves a lot of things. This is from the perspective of a customer. Now, if you take marketing from the perspective of an organization, the difference between marketing and selling becomes bigger. Now, we will just focus on 3 or 4 points, then you will get more clarity on this, on the differences between marketing and selling. Selling means just to sell. Suppose a street vendor is coming to your street with some vegetables. His only purpose is to sell all the vegetables so that he or she can earn some profit. If some of the customers do not get satisfied with the quality of vegetables, he is not bothered about that. The vendor is not bothered about that, because in his view, he thinks that if this customer is not satisfied with the quality of my goods, he may not purchase goods from me for the second time, but I can find some other customer to sell my goods. So what happens in this case? The street vendor focuses only on sales, not entirely on the customer satisfaction. On the other hand, if a street vendor focuses both on sales and customer satisfaction, then he is doing a bit of more marketing for his goods. Because marketing means to assess the need of the customer, the need of the people, then to offer them products as per their requirement. In this way, the main purpose becomes to satisfy the customer so that the customer will be in touch with you again and again, and it will build a long-term relationship which will be beneficial to the vendor. Similarly, in case of an organization, the organization thinks of a product before entering into the market, thinks of a product which will cater to the need of people. It takes into consideration the quality. It takes into consideration the price, which will be very much affordable to the consumers. So in the process, they think of introducing a product or selling a product in the market which will result in customer satisfaction, so that a long-term relationship will be built between the organization and the consumer. Subsequently, it will yield more profit to the organization and it will create more market for the product. Now I should take a little pause because I want to know whether I was audible to you or not, whether whatever I explained, whether it was understood or not. Some of you may unmute and interact with me so that I can be sure. Vijay Palji, Mukesh, anyone?
Yes, sir, it is audible, sir. What I have
And
understood,
yes,
yes, sir, what I have understood is marketing is basically understanding the consumer needs and then
yes,
changing it into the product or a service, and
yes,
thereafter selling it to the right consumer at the right time at the right place, and
yes.
with the objective of achieving the organizational goals and optimal utilization of resources available in the organization, sir.
So in a nutshell, we can say that marketing is a process of discovering consumer needs, then translating those needs into some products or services, then making available those products or services to the customer through any channel or through some intermediaries, and then expanding the market for the product with customer satisfaction. So these are the four things which really make the marketing management. Anyone else? Saraswati, have you understood what I explained?
Yes, sir.
So next, you tell me at least two differences between marketing and selling. Now we are clear that marketing has got a bigger domain than selling. Selling, yes, selling is an important part of marketing, but selling doesn't entirely constitute marketing, because marketing involves customer needs, then translating those needs into product or services, then making available those products and services to the customer, and it works for customer satisfaction so that it will build a long-term relationship with the customer, and in turn the organization will get bigger profit and bigger market also. Now, in your book, before entering entirely into marketing management, intricacies of marketing management, we must know about some philosophies in marketing management, previously what were done and now what are carried out. So there were different concepts when a product was sold in the market previously. Basically, there are 5 marketing concepts: production concept, product concept, selling concept, marketing concept, and societal concept. So, in short, we will discuss all these concepts. Production concept means an organization believes that whatever product they produce, that will be sold in the market if they are made available widely, or if they are made available at a large scale and at a low cost. That means product concept tells An organization will produce goods at a large scale so that it will be available at different places, and because the production is large scale, automatically the cost of production will be low. So ultimate cost of the product will be lower, and it will be customers friendly product, so that they will buy it. The product can be afforded by the consumer. They don't, in production concept, what happens? They don't focus on consumers' changing needs, because change, though the word change itself signifies that after a certain period of time, changes are bound to take place. Because you also can experience it in your daily life. If you are doing your work on a monotonous way, on a routine way, you also need a break after doing the same work within the same time for consecutive 10 or 15 days. You need a break. You want to go somewhat, you want to do somewhat other thing than your usual natural daily work. In the same way, consumers also, when they go on using the same product for a longer period of time, they want something to be added to that product. In production concept, these things are not taken into consideration. Then, when the consumer's needs are not addressed, they look for some other product which will fulfill their desire or requirement. So when this concept came into picture, the product concept came into the market. What does product concept say? Product concept says that the product must have some performance, some quality, some other features which were not available in the largely available products in the market before. That means this product is different from the existing product in the market. Let us take an example of a motorbike. What happened previously? Bike with an engine, with a kickstart, so everyone was using. Now, some aged persons who found it difficult to kick start a bike all the time, they thought of, they needed a bike in which they won't be using the kickstart. To address that query, the self-start bikes came into market. Because it addressed their requirement, it was sold at a large number because it was accepted by the customer as a new feature in the product which is beneficial to the customer. And one more thing in product concept is that if you charge some more price for an added feature, the consumer will pay for that. The consumer is not reluctant to pay because he is getting some added feature in the product. Then selling concept came into picture. Why selling concept came into picture? Because production concept tells that whatever the organization produces, it will be sold in the market because it is offered in the market at a lower price. The product concept tells that our product has got a unique quality, our product has got a unique feature, because of its feature it has demand in the market and it will be sold. Selling concept, why this concept came? there are some products or services which are not easily purchased by a consumer. Let us take an example. Let us take the example of insurance, life insurance, and compare it with an LED TV. What happens in case of a smartphone or LED TV? Suppose you are spending 20,000 to purchase a phone, mobile phone, smartphone. In that case, when you are spending 20,000 rupees, you are obtaining a product which you can feel, you can touch, you can immediately get pleasure from that product by assessing its different features. You become happy although you have spent 20,000 rupees because you get immediate enjoyment. But in case of life insurance, what happens? So if someone pays 20,000 rupees, in return of that 20,000 rupees, he will only be getting a paper which never gives him any pleasure. And the main part is that in a life insurance policy, the customer doesn't get any immediate benefit. The benefit will be given to his family or to the nominee of that person when the person himself dies. That means the person doesn't have any privilege to enjoy anything despite of giving 20,000 rupees. And that too, the 20,000 rupees he gives, he has to give that amount for either at least 5 years or 10 years. So when the consumer thinks that for the rupees spent, I am not getting any immediate pleasure, he always becomes reluctant to purchase the product. So these type of products like insurance product, like your firefighting equipment, the organization or the sales representative of the organization, they need to reach the customer to convince them to sell. So the selling concept only focuses on sell with the product knowledge and with a very good communication skill. Selling concept focuses only on sell, because most of the time it is given through invisibles or something which never give any immediate pleasure to the consumer. Apart from these three concepts, two more concepts are left in marketing philosophies. One is marketing concept, and a modified version of marketing concept is known as societal concept. So what does marketing concept actually mean? Marketing concept means the organization's ability to create, deliver a better value proposition through its marketing offer. That means marketing concept takes a lot of things into consideration. It doesn't only focus on the quality of the product. It doesn't only focus on the price of the product. It focuses on which segment of consumers this product will be more appreciated by which segment of the consumers, and the need to modify their product from time to time to expand the market base in that particular segment. Let us take an example. suppose a product is manufactured, suppose a beauty product. Let us take an example of a beauty product. Now, beauty product, initially, the organization which manufactures it thinks that yes, this will be accepted, this will be more popular within the young mass of ladies. They focus on that young means from 16 to, let us assume, 25 or 30. When they focus on that market and prepare cosmetics for them, they slowly observe that this product also has got demand in the ladies segment who are above the age of 30, and they are also showing interest for these products. So what they will do, they will expand the base of their market and they will go on producing the goods, the beauty, the cosmetics for the ladies who are also above 30. There may be slight modification in the product, but the message would be clearly communicated, because marketing concept also concentrates on communication of the feature and quality of product. So message will be clearly communicated to the ladies that yes, this will bring more glow, particularly to the ladies who are above 30. So psychologically, it builds a market. Psychologically, it creates a very goodwill for the product, and that helps the organization to expand the market base and also to gain profit. Then your societal concept, societal word comes from society. Societal concept is just an extended version of marketing concept, because in marketing concept you are concentrating on the quality, on the price, on the changing consumer needs, on the particular segment of consumers. Apart from all those, societal concept focuses on the welfare of the society, on the betterment of the society. Let me give you one example. Maybe in the TV, you must have watched 3 or 4 advertisements in which it is communicated to us that if you purchase this product, 1 rupee of the MRP or whatever price you are purchasing, 1 rupee from the sales will be given for the child development. 1 rupee will be donated for the welfare of aged persons. Haven't you seen advertisement like that? And previously, when cards were used on the eve of New Year or on the occasion of some good festival, UNICEF cards were also there, and when you purchase a UNICEF card, you indirectly donate 1 rupee to the welfare of the children. So haven't you seen advertisement like this? Any one of you can unmute and interact with me. Hello? Mukesh?
Oh, yes, sir.
Have you seen advertisement in which it is communicated to the audience that if you purchase this product, 1 rupee from the sales will be donated to the child welfare or for the child labor or for the development of aged persons? Haven't you seen advertisement like that?
Yes, sir, I have seen, because they have to deal with corporate social responsibility, no, sir.
Yes. So that concept, yes.
Yes. So many orders I place where they do such things, sir.
Okay. So this is the example of societal concept. So when you think of the society and add something to your product, to your marketing, societal concept comprises of three things. First, it should be beneficial for the consumer, human welfare. Second, it should end up with consumer satisfaction, obviously, which is the main core concept of marketing. And third, then you know about the difference between marketing and selling. And so we can, selling focuses only on sales and the volume of sales. Marketing is an integrated activity. Marketing is an integrated activity which starts from the concept of a product. What type of product the consumer needs, how we will make that product, with which technology, with which added feature. So marketing is an integrated activity which starts with the concept of a product and ends up with consumer satisfaction. In short, we can describe marketing like this. It starts with the concept of the product and ends up with the consumer satisfaction. In between, everything is done. So, after we know the management philosophy, the evolution of marketing management philosophy, we can divide it into 2 or 3 parts. Evolution means gradual development, and you can conclude, you can assume it from your side that how evolution takes place, how gradual development for any product takes place. First, the common principle is that you will produce first for your requirement. You will produce to fulfill your needs first. So, in the process of producing a particular thing for you, a particular commodity for you, you find a good process, or you are acquainted with a process through which now you are able to produce more than your requirement. So, what will you do with the rest of the products? Because after meeting your requirement, there would be some products left. So, in that case, you will try to sell those products, or you will try to utilize those products in return of something for your requirement. So, evolution, the gradual development takes place in this way. First, you produce for yourself. When you become acquainted with a particular process, it becomes easier for you. Now, within the same time, you produce more. So, those production, after meeting your requirement, some part of the production will be left. Now, you will try to utilize those products for anything, for something else of your requirement. Then, the exchange process will take place, because either you will exchange those products with someone else for another product, or you will exchange those products in return of in exchange of some money. So when it becomes profitable, that means when you produce more, it becomes profitable for you. When the human civilization came across this concept, they tried to earn more profit. And as you know, necessity is the mother of invention. When they necessitate the urgency of profit, They wanted to produce more and more. Therefore, they wanted to invent some machines. Once machines were invented, they went for large scale production in different sectors. For that reason, the industrial revolution took place. It started in Europe. So after industrial revolution, when the production became massive, after fulfilling the requirement of all the citizens or the requirement of a nation, the rest were exchanged with another country, and in that way international marketing came into picture. So this is the general picture of evolution of marketing. So far we have learned what is marketing management, what is marketing management, the difference between marketing and selling, and the different marketing concept, and somewhat about the evolution of these philosophies. So if anyone having any doubt, so ask me, we can move to the other sections. Yes, Mukesh, Vijay, anyone?
Yes, sir, we can continue. We can continue.
We can continue. Okay. I want also to hear from Pinky, Saraswati and Vijay. Because
Yes,
very
sir.
funny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, am I understood, Vijay?
Yes, yes.
You don't feel bored, na?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Actually, you say marketing. It's a very interesting chapter, because when you think it like a paper to be presented in an exam, then it becomes a subject and you may not be finding it that much interesting. But when you think of marketing as a part of your career, you will find more interest. Let me give you an example. Marketing happens everywhere. It is not only applicable for goods or products or services. It is applicable for you in your everyday life. Suppose everyone has his or her own rules to continue his life. When you want to present your image in the society, you must market that image well in the society. Otherwise, you may be very good by heart, you may be very pure in soul, but unless the society doesn't come across those qualities within you, they will never know about your specialty, they will never appreciate your specialty, because simply they are not aware of your special qualities, they are ignorant of it. So you also need to market yourself well, so that you will have a special image of your own in the society. Well, let me give you one or two examples. Suppose you are good at math. I'm giving you easy examples. You are good at math. When you are studying, you are very good at math. Your parents know that. The elder generation know that. Now you are doing job. Suppose you are now almost 35. Now the younger generations who are 6, 7 years old, they don't know about your special quality in math. Unless you spend some time with them, unless you help them in solving some math problems, they will never come to know about your special quality. And once they know about your special ability in solving a math problem, that will create a different admiration for you within themselves. That is marketing. Marketing never means everything, whatever I am doing, I am always going to get a profit. It is for your own satisfaction also. And of course, a good marketing gives you benefit. Always not in terms of money, but in terms of social recognition. And that is required for every human being. So, marketing is very interesting paper. And in the first unit, actually, it's a bit theoretical because we will be dealing with nature and scope of marketing. So now we will move to marketing management process. So how the marketing management will be managed or will be supervised. So marketing management process consists of 4 steps. What are these? 4 steps are: first, you analyze the market opportunities. And before that, I must tell you something about your own analysis of your own organization. As you must be aware, because you are final year income students, PG students, you must be aware of an analysis called SWOT analysis, SWOT. SWOT analysis is applicable for any organization. SWOT analysis is also applicable for every human being. SWOT means S stands for strength, W for weakness, O for opportunities, and T for threats. As a human being, I must know my strength. Strength means what are my positive things, what are my strong points which I can utilize to overcome any temporary hurdles. What are my weaknesses? Why should I know about my weakness? Because I will be minimizing the weakness at the adverse time. Suppose, let me give you an example. Suppose I don't know swimming. That is my weakness. So when I will be traveling in a boat, to minimize that weakness, I must have a life jacket or a tube at within the reach of my hand, so that I can minimize the risk. So, any organization first analyzes itself, its strength. Strength means could be some good skilled manpower. Its strength could be the latest technology, whatever. They must be aware of their strength, their weakness. These 2 things will help them how to capitalize on marketing opportunities. Marketing opportunities, analysis of marketing opportunities means to identify the changing consumer needs. Let me give you an example, because marketing, whenever you are studying marketing, it should be related with relevant examples so that it will be easier for you to understand. Now let us take the examples of bikes, 2-wheelers. 20-30 years back, using a 2-wheeler was a luxury, but nowadays using 2-wheeler has become a necessity, because it saves a lot of your time, and if you are dealing with more than 2 or 3 works in a day, then you need to preserve your time and utilize your time in a very efficient way so that you will be able to finish all those assignments in a day. So for that purpose you need mobility, that purpose you need 2-wheelers. Now look at the market opportunities, what I am talking. Some companies, they observe that day by day every nation is becoming environmentally conscious, because a lot of pollution is being created by these petrol or diesel driven vehicles. Day by day the rate of price of petrol and diesel is increasing. So they observed that the consumers are now opting for a product which will give them financial benefit as well as it will play a role in preserving the surrounding, preserving the environment. So the analysis of the market environment reveals that the consumers now need electric vehicle. So analyzing the marketing opportunity means to identify the changing consumer needs. Then the company, the organization works or analyzes its strength and weakness to cash on that opportunity. Suppose they have the required manpower. Now they have installed or they have found the right machinery matched with the right technology. So in the process, the second step would be selecting target markets. What is target market? Target market means the whole domain of people constitute the market. Now, initially, we are making a product. The organization will clearly think whatever product it is going to manufacture will be appreciated by which age group or which segment of the population. Whether it will be more appreciated by the ladies, whether it will be more appreciated by the gents. If it is appreciated by ladies, then from which to which group it will be more appreciated. That means, target means to focus on a particular segment of consumer who will be accepting or for whom your product is meant, is designed. That is also called market segmentation, to divide the market into various segments. Then among these segments, you have to choose a particular segment which is called market targeting or target market. Then, once you target your market, once your segment is finalized to be targeted, you have to create a perception in their mind, in the mind of those consumers in the segment about your product, how effectively it will serve them. So again, we were talking about the electric vehicle. First, the organization discovered the need of the consumers for getting an electric vehicle. Then they targeted that yes, this will be more appreciated by the ladies, and because of their daily work, the electric vehicle can serve them inside the city very well. For the teenagers also who are moving to different coaching institutes or school at a different point of time in a day, they can also handle that, because as per the specification of the government, electric vehicles having less than 0.5 kilowatt will not require a driving license. So keeping these things in mind, they have targeted a market. Then after targeting the market, that means they have discovered the need, Now they have targeted the market. The next step would be developing the marketing mix. Now, you must understand this word marketing mix, because marketing mix, you will be coming across this term many times during this paper. Mix. Mix means to combine two or three or four things with one another. Marketing mix means it is a combination of price, its promotion, its distribution, all those things will together form the marketing mix. So these are better known as, these are also called 4 P's, but nowadays 4 P's have been extended to 5 P's, and later on 5 P's have been expanded to 7 P's. So for the time being, let us consider only 4 P's of marketing mix. These 4 P's. P stands for, first P for product, next one for price, third for promotion, and fourth for physical distribution. That means now you have a product in your mind, the electric vehicle, you have designed accordingly. Then next, price, at what price it will be launched into market so that the price will be acceptable and pocket friendly for the customers. Promotion means to make your product known among the consumer or among your target market. How you will achieve that promotion? Basically, promotion is achieved by advertising. Advertising in any form, whether it is in TV, whether it is in newspaper, whether it is in form of leaflets. The basic objective of advertisement is to make the consumer aware of your product. And if it's a new product, it needs more advertisement initially. This is one form of promotion. And another form of promotion, if we consider an existing product, then promotion of that product can also be done through advertising, can also be done through some special discount, some special offer like you are getting for the existing product, buy 2 get 1 free, special discount on some festive occasion like up to 50%. Those are promotion for product. So for your electric vehicle, you have designed, now you have made advertisement, and what promotion does for the product, apart from making the consumer aware of the product, it also creates an image in the mind of consumers about that product. Suppose I'm talking about the electric vehicle. Suppose it's a two-wheeler. Now the advertisement shows that it doesn't consume petrol, so you don't have to run to filling station every time or every day or every after 100 kilometers. You can recharge it, refuel it at home at your own convenience. So it will save your immediate expenditure on petrol and diesel. All those things the consumers understand. But apart from that, if they in their advertisement promote that you can give it to you can give it to your child, and you can track the vehicle from your phone at home or wherever you are. You can track the vehicle and you can track where your child is moving, whether he or she is utilizing your vehicle for the education purpose or for something else. So that GPS tracking is there. Suppose they advertise in their promotion they convey the consumers that like a car, it has got 4-point indicators. That means when you are going straight, all the 4 indicators will blink at a time. So these added features create a different image of that product in the consumer's mind, which really helps in penetrating a market. Then you have, so we have already covered 3 P's. Now you have thought of the product, you have designed it, then you have decided on price, then you have decided on how to promote, how to create the image of that product. Now finally it comes to physical distribution. Physical distribution means you have to make the product available to the consumer at different places. So for that purpose we need intermediaries, those who are known as dealers or wholesalers of the product. So once the terms and conditions with the intermediaries are settled, its distribution process starts and consumer can avail that product within the close vicinity of their location. So these are the 4 things of marketing mix. So actually what we were discussing about the marketing management process. Let me just recap that. Marketing management process. In the marketing management process, we first analyze the marketing environment to discover, to identify the consumer's changing needs. In the second step in the process, we select the target market among which our products will be sold. Then we develop a proper marketing mix. Marketing mix comprises of the product, price, promotion and the physical distribution part. Then the last part of anything is implementing and controlling. For any strategy, for any planning, for any management, keep this word in mind that implementation and control is necessary for every management process. Whatever you have thought, whatever you have designed in your mind or in your paper, you have to bring that into action. You have to implement that plan into action. You have to turn the paperwork into reality by functioning physically. So you have to implement the plan for your product, for your marketing purpose, and controlling side by side it comes. Because whenever you are driving a vehicle, when humps come in your way, you apply your brakes. That's a form of controlling. Similarly, when you are driving on a highway, you step on the gas, you step on the accelerator. So when you step on the accelerator, it is also a control, because in your mind you can visualize that I can control my vehicle at this speed. Similarly, for an organization, controlling is a must part, because when the organization observes that the workforce is not performing as per the desired level, they will put some break, they will put some changes, they will implement some more changes in the process. And if they are doing well, then they will try to enhance that productivity more, either by giving some monetary benefits or by giving the workforce some facilities. So implementation and control is mostly the concluding part of any management process, because controlling gives you a scope to modify yourself as per the requirement of the situation. So this is all about marketing management process. Now just 2 or 3 things to end up with your first unit. Now if you think about marketing management in Indian context, in a, whether it is marketing management. Actually, I'm giving you a figure of general picture, general answers to questions like the process. Whatever process, last part will be implementation and control. Similarly, whatever is asked in Indian context, whether it is development in banking sector, whether it is development in economic sector, whether it is development in marketing management, you will consider three stages, three phases. First phase, prior to independence. Second phase, after independence till 1990. And third phase, after 1990. Why this 1990? Because India adopted liberalized policy. India opened its economy to the world in 1990, declared it open. From 1991, foreign investors started coming into India to establish, to invest in ventures, to establish new industries. Prior to that, we focused on more indigenous production, indigenous product. We didn't have more scope for foreign investors to invest in India. So now you can draw a general figure. The first phase, which is prior to independence, if we think about marketing management. As you know, we were ruled by the British. The Industrial Revolution took place in Europe. It started almost from England. So they were producing goods at a massive scale and forcefully they were selling those products in India. Although Indian products were good and the artisans were good, but they imposed, they used their diplomacy, they imposed many taxes on the Indian artisans so that it would be very much difficult for them to sell their products at a higher price. So they imposed, on one hand, they imposed taxes, different taxes on Indian artisans and on their products. And on the other hand, because the product was coming at a lower cost because of its massive production, because when the production goes big, then the cost of production becomes less. So the same product which was manufactured in India was available in India at a higher price because it was coming with different tax inclusion. At the same time, the British products were sold in India at a less price. So obviously, the purchasing power of people at that time was very low. So they opted for products which came at a lower cost. So they had no option but to purchase the British goods. So it was mostly a seller's market. Seller's market means it is a seller-dominated market in which the seller sold its product at his will, because there were not more options for consumers. There are not more choices for consumers. So it was a seller's market. In the second phase, after independence, what happens? The structure more or less remains the same. You must be astonished. We became independent. How the structure remained the same. At that time, the British were advocating for their products to be sold. After independence, also the bigger, the larger, the heavy industries were also became public limited. Public sector companies, that means public sector means they were run by the government. That means there were not much opening for the private players or other investors to manufacture those products. So it was the public sector organizations which were doing, which were only permitted and doing monopolies in selling those products. So it also remained as a seller's market, though it was not from the British but from the government. And secondly, we focused more on indigenous production. So government took over all the large companies as public sector companies. The second phase also remained as a seller's market. What happens in seller's market? There is not threat, there is no competition from other competitors, because the competitors simply don't exist in a seller's market. It is purely dominated by one or two players. When our economy became open for foreign investors, because the situation demanded like that, I don't want to go into that. But in 1990, the economic condition of our country was very, very, very worse. At that time, we didn't have sufficient reserve in our foreign currency. We have to place a lot of gold. And at that time, Dr. Manmohan Singh was the finance minister who adopted the liberalized policy for our economy. And after that, foreign investors were allowed to establish their own plants, their own industry in our country, which created not only employment for our people, but also brought in huge foreign investment. And that really changed the economic scenario and also the marketing scenario of India, because many players came into the field with the same product. Let us take the example of car. Previously, there were one or two cars companies operating in India. One was Ambassador, Hindustan Motors. Nowadays, it is very difficult to find such cars. Now, their production has been stopped. And one other was Premium Mini. And in the late 80s, Maruti came into picture in the mid 80s. Now, after foreign investment came, the consumers got choices. Suppose it was toothpaste. So toothpaste was made available by different companies. Now the consumer is not being insisted to buy the toothpaste from the manufacturer of Colgate or Dapper. Now they have got plenty of options to choose from. They have got plenty of options in automobiles to choose from. They have got plenty of options in electronics accessories to choose from. So when options are available to the consumer, then the real competition among the organizations starts. They become more conscious of their quality, of the quality of their product. They become more conscious of their packaging. They become more conscious of their after-sales service. So, in a nutshell, we can say, marketing management in Indian context actually flourished in the third phase after Indian economy adopted the liberalized policy. After the introduction of liberalized policy, the consumers got choice, the consumers got alternatives to choose for a particular product, and that created competition, healthy competition among the organizations, among the companies, and which in turn became beneficial for the consumer to choose from a wide range of products at an affordable price with the desired quality. So this is all about your first unit, about your basic concept of marketing and marketing philosophies, and in Indian context what happens. Now we can do second unit, but because I was talking for the last 20 minutes at a stretch, some of you can unmute and interact with me for at least 2-3 minutes, and then we can proceed. Mukesh, Vijay, Pinky, Saraswati, are you all feeling bored?
Okay, sir.
No, sir, we are learning
Okay.
the marketing management in Indian context, sir.
Okay. So one of you told she was feeling bored. Whether it is Pinky or Saraswati, I couldn't recognize. Hello.
Sir?
Is it okay, Saraswati, or you are feeling bored? हेलो विजय साहब कुछ तो बोलिए. हेलो विजय साहब कुछ बोलिए.
हाँ सर.
मैं सुनाई दे रहा हूँ ना?
हाँ हाँ सर, सुनाई दे रहा है.
और आप बिल्कुल बोर हो गए शायद.
ना 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 सर, नो सर.
तो अभी और थोड़ी देर हम पढ़ाई करेंगे, चलेगा?
हाँ सर.
तो फिर ठीक है. नेक्स्ट यूनिट tells us about marketing environment. So as you know, environment means the surroundings within which you are operating, you are existing. Marketing environment means the market where you are supposed to sell your products is surrounded by which factors, or the surroundings in which you will be marketing or you will be selling your products. So what is marketing environment? Marketing environment comprises of all those forces, all those factors which have a direct or an indirect impact on your market and marketing efforts. All the factors that have impact on your marketing efforts or on your market. So when you talk about environment, organizational environment, for an organization, basically the environment is divided into two parts. For any organization, it is internal environment and external environment. Internal environment basically means the environment within your organization and things which are under your control. But external environment means the environment which is beyond your control, beyond the organization's control.
Outside
Like
of the
government
organization.
policy. Yes, it stays outside the organization. Basically, these two types of environment exist for an organization. But when we talk about marketing environment, they divided, the marketing environment is divided into two parts, but here internal, despite irrespective of all those factors which directly or indirectly influence the marketing effort, it is divided into two parts like micro environment and macro environment. Now what happens, why it is not termed as internal and external environment? Because apart from internal factors, some other factors are taken into consideration together with the internal environment, with which the organization or the marketing team deals immediately. That means apart from the internal department's internal environment, like the accounts, like the finance, like the production team, like the marketing force. It also takes into consideration the suppliers with whom we are purchasing, the intermediaries of the distributors to whom we are giving our products to be placed. So all these combinedly make our micro environment. And yes, the external environment, the other external factors which remain outside the organization, like the government policy, the demographic, the economic condition, the cultural, socio-cultural issues, all those constitute the macro environment with which the organization doesn't interact immediately. That means marketing management, marketing management, the environment is divided into two parts. One with which the organization is doing immediate interaction, that is micro environment, and the environment with which the organization doesn't do immediate interaction, but it indirectly affects the activities of the organization, that is called a macro environment. So we can take the example of micro environment, the organizational internal environment, like the account section, like the production section, like the production, like this manpower, the skilled manpower, which whose productivity contributes a lot to the organization. Next, the immediate factor with which the organization interacts in micro environment is the suppliers, as we have already discussed, the intermediaries or the distribution channel. Two more factors are added into it. One is obvious, that customer. Because in marketing, customers are given the topmost priority. So if the customers opt for something new which is revealed from the marketing survey, from the marketing research, the organization gives priority to address those needs. And apart from customers, one more factor with which the organization has to deal immediately or constantly or every day is the competitors. Because if product of the same quality, same feature is available in the market and almost at the same price of yours, then every day you have to think of something new to sustain your market share, to push your product in the market, or to increase its sale. So competitors always give a good run. Competitors always indirectly encourage an organization to always to be on their toes in terms of technology, in terms of marketing skills, in terms of quality in their product. Competitors always put the opposition on the toes, otherwise they will not survive in the market. So these five things, any organization has to interact immediately in the market. Then if we think about macro environment, then macro environment comprises of your government policies, the political and legal environment, the demographic environment. Demographic means the size of the population, geographical distribution, then age distribution, birth rate, religious composition, all those things constitute demographic environment. Now, one can ask why this demographic environment needs to be considered. It needs to be considered because when you are manufacturing a product, and as we have already discussed, you are targeting a particular segment, then demographic environment gives you a clear picture of the population on which you are focusing, the age distribution, so that your segment occupies how much percentage of that population, whether it is substantial enough to launch the product. It also signifies the geographical situation, the geographical presence, whether your products will be easily accessible to all parts of the target segments, to all the places of the target segments, easily or not. So demographic environment means a lot. But if suppose roads are not good enough, you cannot make the road or repair the road by yourself. It depends on the government. But you have to manage because this is an external factor and you don't have any control over that. Similarly, technological environment. In the world, technology is changing. Technology is getting better and better every day. You may opt for the latest technology, but for that you need fund, you need your budget to allow that. You need your machineries to match with that. You need your manpower to operate those machineries with the latest technology. So, technological environment, though it's an external factor, it has got some impact because those companies, those organizations which will be adopting those latest technology will definitely stay ahead of you because they will be having more sophisticated product than yours. So, in that case, what I will do? So, my organization will do a strategy to handle that because my budget is not allowing me to install new machineries of latest technology. So, I will continue with the old technology. In that case, what will be my strategy to occupy my market share? A lot of things are taken into consideration. Similarly, socio-cultural environment which your product should not hamper, should not hurt anyone's feeling, and it should have a good social appeal for harmony. All those things are taken into consideration which constitute macro environment which directly do not influence the firm's marketing activities immediately, but in long term, indirectly, it affects. Then, if we think about the marketing environment in India, again, the marketing environment, India has got a population of nearly 130 crores. For many countries, it's a dream to get such a market, such a huge market. Previously, prior to 1991, prior to liberalization, this population, this huge population seemed to be the greatest drawback, seems to be the greatest disadvantage for India, because whatever we produced at that time, prior to 1991, we simply could not meet the requirement of our own people. So, export from India was very less. As we were not utilizing advanced technology, though we were working ahead, though we were working for more number of hours, still our productivity was not that enough. After 1991, when our economy became open to foreign investors, when they came with latest technology. They came with more skilled force. They came with huge investment. They came with more employment opportunities. When foreign investment started flowing in, more number of industries got established, people got more employment, the purchasing power, the per capita income increased, the purchasing power of people increased. And when people get purchasing power, that means when people have money with them to purchase different things, when this power increased, then the same market, the same country which was previously a disadvantage for the nation to have 100 crore people became its biggest advantage to have a market of 130 crore people. And this is the main reason for which the foreign investors are investing in India or are trying to push up their products in India. Because to get a market of 130 crore people apart from China, they will be exploring 10 or 15 countries to get such a huge market. Instead of exploring or doing treaties with 10 or 15 countries, they can do business with only one country and get a huge market and utilize that market to gain benefit. So this is the marketing environment of India, and also this is increasing day by day. Now that is the theoretical part about the different regulations, government regulations which affect marketing, and maybe questions on one or two of these acts may come in your exam, but this is purely theoretical and you have to memorize this. There is nothing technical things to be known about these acts. Just I will go through these acts one by one in a very with very short statements. Like the Indian Contract Act. Indian Contract Act basically deals with the contract, legal contract, legal agreement. Legal agreement means there is an agreement between two parties with some certain conditions. If one party does not, if one party deviates from the condition, the other party is fully authorized to drag the first party into court. Contract Act provides that a legal contract is enforceable in court of law if the condition is not satisfied. So it's basically an agreement, a legal agreement between two parties. If one violates, then other can drag him into the court. Similarly, Sales of Goods Act. Sales of Goods Act reveals that you can sell your products within the national boundary to anyone, unless you, and it also specifies the transfer of rights regarding the goods. Once you pay, you have paid for the goods, automatically the rights will be transferred to you. And if you have not paid or if you have partially paid, then the proportion of right will be distributed between the seller and the buyer. So these things are specified in Sales of Goods Act, but the basic thing is that you can sell your goods within the national boundary. Another is the Industries Development and Regulation Act. Actually, this act provides for new investment or permits the existing companies for expansion, the new companies for getting license. It means the basic objective of this act is to encourage the establishment of new industries and to empower the existing industries with some additional facilities of like financing or getting permission. Then there is one act which is called Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. Adulteration word itself signifies मिलावट. तो मिलावट को रोकने के लिए ये एक्ट है. जो कोई भी मिलावट करता है उसके खिलाफ इस एक्ट के अंदर कदम लिया जा सकता है. Similarly, there are other acts like Essential Commodities Act. क्या होता है कि sometimes taking advantage of some situation, some stockists, they hold these essential commodities in their store, in their godows and create an artificial shortage in the market. By creating the artificial shortage in the market, they sell these stocked products at a very high price and very illegally earn more profit. So this is also prohibited by Essential Commodities Act, and the government can seal your godam. The government can even arrest you on the basis of this act if you misutilize the essential commodities in an adverse situation. Similarly, there is Company Act under which the companies get registered and the issues of companies could be addressed. Another act is Trademark Act. Trademark Act means suppose a logo or a picture or a sentence is approved to be utilized for your organization only, then that picture, that logo or that particular statement cannot be utilized by any other company. That is your trademark. Trademark may be a symbol, may be a title, may be a design. There is also many other acts. One is Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. MRTP, in short it is known as MRTP. So MRTP, it is meant to restrict unfair trade practices. One cannot do monopoly. Suppose one company is existing and it is dealing with a product with no competitors, then it can do monopoly. It can charge its product at a very higher rate. So this is also restricted by the MRTP Act. Similarly, there is Patent Act. Patent Act tells that the composition with which you are producing a product is patented. That means no other company can use the same combinations in the same proportion to manufacture a product like yours. And the patent period, patent invention is got a restriction for a specific period. That means during that period, no one can produce goods like that or can use that composition to produce goods like that. It's an exclusive right to the first manufacturer. Similarly, there is Consumer Protection Act. Consumer Protection Act means it gives the consumer a power to lodge their complaint, to lodge their grievances in the court. Whenever a consumer feels cheated with the product or service of any organization, they can file a case against that organization. So Consumer Protection Act, it's a part of our, now it has become a part of our constitution of the judiciary system. So there is a district level consumer court, there is state level consumer court, and there is also national level consumer court. At every level, your matter could be heard. Then there is Environmental Protection Act, which is gaining more importance day by day. because environment is of top importance nowadays to every country. The Environment Protection Act cares for the environment as well as for the human beings who are living within that environment. Then there is the Bureau of Indian Standard Act. You just need to go by these acts because these are very theoretical. Bureau of Indian Standards, these act focuses or specifies the specific standard of goods. That means a certificate of BIS stands for purity and quality. Like you have heard nowadays, BIS 916 is a very guaranteed hallmark for gold. That means when a gold is certified with BIS 916 hallmark, that means it is assumed that 91.6% of the ornament is gold, or the gold with which the ornament is made. That gold is 91.6% pure. Similarly, there is AGMARK, AGMARK. AGMARK actually is for standardization of agricultural commodities, and the AGMARK seal is an assurance of quality and purity. So these are the acts which actually control the business environment, so that no one can do business or marketing of its own. No one can boast of its product in a way which is simply in an impossible way. No one can do that. No one can mislead the consumer through false advertisements. No one can make a false promise to the consumers from its product. No one can fix a price at his will to exploit the consumers. So for these things, to maintain the quality, to maintain the standard, to make the product available at a good price, these acts exist in India. So this is more or less the second unit. Now we shall move to the third unit, which is a big unit, and we must be completing half of this today. Marketing information and research. But I request everyone, those who are present today, now I can see only 3 participants, Mukesh, Vijay and Pinky, Saraswati, 4 participants. So I request every one of you, please go through this unit 3 for the next class. The part which I will be covering today, you don't need to go through that part again. But the marketing research part, you need to go through that, because research is a very important thing which you need to know whether in the coming years you would be doing a good project, or you would be associated with a research work. These things you must know what actually research means and what is the objective of a research. So I request all of you to at least read something about marketing research for the next class, so that it would be easier for you to understand. Now we will start with marketing information. Marketing information, you know, is a set of data. Marketing information means some data related to marketing. Related to which marketing?
हेलो
हेलो, यस सरस्वती
जी सर। सर काल में डिस्कस होंगे, आज बोरिंग हो रहा हूँ।
कल करेंगे नहीं, ठीक है। मैं क्या है कि
जी।
जो टाइम दिया गया है, ये
जी
टाइम
सर।
से 5 मिनट पहले ही मैं बंद कर सकता हूँ। मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि अभी थोड़ा बोर लग रहा है, तो अभी हम कुछ पढ़ाई नहीं करेंगे। अभी थोड़ा 5-10 मिनट कुछ डिस्कस करेंगे, उसके बाद हम बंद कर देंगे। मैं भी वही सोच रहा हूँ, लेकिन अभी हमारे पास और 10 मिनट है। 10 मिनट
Okay,
नहीं
sir.
तो 7-8 मिनट है। 7-8 मिनट के लिए मुझे प्लीज आप कोऑपरेट कीजिए, ठीक है?
ठीक है
तो हम
सर.
आज कुछ पढ़ाई नहीं करेंगे, जो भी पढ़ाई आप लोग करेंगे वो मंडे जब क्लास होगा तभी हम डिसाइड करेंगे। अभी हम कुछ थोड़ा डिस्कस करते हैं जो पढ़ाई
Okay,
के
sir.
बाहर है, ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
तो अभी
Yes.
जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, इंफॉर्मेशन इट मीन्स ए सेट ऑफ डाटा। मार्केटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन मीन्स some information, some data related to marketing. Which marketing? The product or the service which your organization intends to market. तो मार्केटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन मुझे चाहिए, कैसे चाहिए ना? एक मार्केटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम होता है। वो मार्केटिंग सिस्टम, इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम जो है वो क्या है? It can be defined as a set of procedures for collection, analysis and presentation of data. जब मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन डाटा चाहिए तो मुझे जो डाटा चाहिए मेरे मार्केटिंग रिलेटेड, मेरे प्रोडक्ट रिलेटेड, वही डाटा मुझे कलेक्ट करना है, उसको एनालिसिस करना है और एनालिसिस के बाद एक प्रेजेंटेशन देना है। तो वो मार्केटिंग सिस्टम में मैं और 5 मिनट ही क्लास लूंगा, ज्यादा नहीं लूंगा। तो वो मार्केटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम में आप लोग को शायद पता होगा, और शायद मुझे लगता है मुकेश और विजय आप दो लोगों को पता होगा कि हर रोज आप जब बैठते हैं अपने डेस्क पर तो आपको शायद एक MIS आता होगा। वो MIS क्या होता है कि मैनेजमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम जो होता है वो मार्केटिंग में भी वही होता है, मार्केटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम होता है। इसका क्या है कि आपके पास जो इंफॉर्मेशन आएगा वो टैबुलर फॉर्म में आएगा। वो टैबुलर फॉर्म में सपोज हम लोग एक इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल की मार्केटिंग में जुड़े हैं, तो उसमें आएगा कि कौन कौन से हमारे सेगमेंट में इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल कितना सेल हुआ है, हमारे सेगमेंट में कौन कौन सा मॉडल कैसे कितने बेचे गए हैं, कंपटीटर्स के हिसाब से कौन हमसे आगे है, कौन हमसे पीछे है, कितने देर में, what is the rate of our growth for the last 1 month in comparison to others. So all these type of relevant informations are collected and these are collected through a proper information system. First of this is internal reporting system, मतलब मैं अंदर से ही कुछ लोगों को इसके लिए अपॉइंटमेंट दूंगा, रिक्रूट करूंगा, जो मुझे इंटरनल रिपोर्टिंग सारे डाटा मुझे देंगे। वो डाटा उन लोगों का काम ही है, वो मुझे डाटा देंगे, ठीक है? वो लोग मुझे जो डाटा देंगे वो सिर्फ मार्केटिंग के बारे में नहीं है, उन लोगों को रिक्रूट किया गया है, वो लोग डाटा देंगे, वो मार्केटिंग बारे में हो, चाहे कुछ फाइनेंस के बारे में हो, कुछ रिसर्च डेवलपमेंट के बारे में हो, कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में हो। उनके पास जो भी डाटा आता है उनका जॉब ही ये है, उनका काम ही ये है कि दे विल प्रोवाइड मी डाटा। देन मार्केटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम में व्हाट हैपेंस, द मार्केटिंग मैनेजर वो अपने मतलब की डाटा, मार्केटिंग रिलेटेड डाटा वहां से निकाल लेता है। सेकेंड कंपोनेंट ऑफ मार्केटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम इज मार्केटिंग इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम। तो इंटेलिजेंस क्या होता है? इंटेलिजेंस मतलब इट डजंट शो योर इंटेलिजेंस। इंटेलिजेंस मतलब जो अंदर की बात होता है, जो खबर मार्केट में मिलती है, कोई भी सोर्स में हो, फॉर्मल सोर्स से हो, इनफॉर्मल सोर्स से हो, मुझे कोई भी अंदर का खबर मिलता है तो वो मैं कलेक्ट करता हूं और अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को कन्वे करता हूं कि ये अभी डेवलपमेंट मार्केट में चल रहा है, तो उस हिसाब से हमको क्या करना चाहिए। एक्चुअली मार्केटिंग इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम सप्लाइज द मैनेजमेंट with what happening with the current happening data, then marketing research system. Let me explain you the word research and thereafter we will close down, we will wind up for today. Research means to acquire more knowledge on a specific field of your interest. To acquire more knowledge on the specific field of your interest. Now, what does the research mean in marketing sense? Marketing research basically deals how to overcome a problem. कोई प्रोडक्ट हम बेच रहे हैं, अभी वो मार्केट में ज्यादा बिक नहीं रहा है, तो मार्केटिंग रिसर्च विल फोकस on the problem and will try to acquire all the knowledges, all the relevant information, all the relevant data, revealing the reasons for this failure, for this problem. Marketing research gives a clear picture, or at least tries to give a clear picture for the reasons that are creating this problem. Once the research is done and the reasons for problem are known, then appropriate actions are taken through analytical marketing system to overcome that problem. तो जो एनालिटिकल मार्केटिंग सिस्टम होता है वो थोड़ा डिफरेंट मार्केटिंग मॉडल्स होता है जिसको वो लोग अडॉप्ट करते हैं खत्म करने, वो प्रोडक्ट को प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए. सो हम बाद में थोड़ा देखेंगे. अभी आपके हिसाब से सारे लोग बहुत बोर हो चुके हैं, तो मैं अभी इस सेशन एंड करता हूँ. और मैं जानता हूँ ये आप लोग अगले क्लास के लिए जो मार्केटिंग रिसर्च है उसका सिर्फ मार्केटिंग रिसर्च का पढ़ाई करके आना, बिकॉज मार्केटिंग रिसर्च देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स टू बी नोन एंड lot of things to be followed in a research process so that the outcome will be beneficial to the organization. So all the best to everyone, and hope the participation of all the participants will increase in the coming classes. Thank you for being with me for the last 2 hours. Thank you so much. I am winding up the session.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mukesh. Thank you, Vijay Pal. Thank you. Yeah.